everybody. I'm Luke, and this is Lvnari, just in case our mics were off for that period of time on the stream. I'm going to start creating some lo-fi beats for you, starting off with the guitar. So right now, I'm running my guitar through Bias FX. I'm just setting up a custom amp. I have this jazz amp. And then they both kind of look similar to like a Fender. So I'll start off compressing it a little bit. I'll just use the Logic default compressor for now. Let's add a couple effects. I kind of want to go for a chorus effect on this. That's pretty good. So let's see. We'll start off with one of my favorite EQs. This is the FabFilter Pro Q. All right. And this one I kind of always load up with a default high-pass filter. I have it defaulted at 64, but for a guitar tone I can push that a little higher, just so I kind of automatically safeguard for myself from cluttering the low end of any mix I'm working on. So I'm trying to scan and figure out how high I can push that. I pretty much figured out that spot is at 72. All right, now let's see. Now I'm going to try to deal with a little bit of the low end just before we get started because it's a little heavy. All right, now I'm going to add some reverb. So I'm going to do actually some delay and then some reverb. So I'm going to add, because I kind of want to utilize the delay as a main effect on this guitar tone. So I'm going to use the replica plugin from Native Instruments. And let's see, we'll start with straight 1/8 delay and see how that sounds. Yeah, that's the 16th, here's the 8th. I think I want to try 1/4 instead. Okay, now a little reverb. I'm going to use the Chroma Verb. This is in the new version of Logic as well. Save my track. I'm going to use under spaces, there's a void setting. I really like this one for some really far out ambience. Let's try it. Oh yeah, that fills it up nicely. I'm going to take out some of this high end, or else it's going to get a little bit too tingy whenever I hit the strings. Okay, good. And then just on every track, I'm going to put the multi-effect plugin from Logic, the Fat Effects, and I have this. This is my default setting, and I have everything turned off on this except for on the master. It gives you the option to do a limiter. I just put a limiter on the track just so that I'm not clipping on any track. So that's my chain so far, just for the guitar. So this is just my guitar tone that I have, and I haven't solidified the riff, but as I've been experimenting with it, I kind of know what I want to do with it. I'm kind of going to start here. I'm going to start laying down this riff so I can get moving on it. All right. Well, it's the first time I'm taking a look at what's going on in your drawing, Lvnari. It's looking cool.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where it's going. I'm just warming up.
Okay, so first thing I'm going to do with this guitar riff, now that we're kind of getting into it here, I'm going to turn on my Flex Time editor, and then I'm going to analyze the audio I just recorded. So I'm going to go ahead and use the polyphonic flex time editor and then clean it up. And in the regions menu, that's under quantize, and I can quantize this to eighth notes. It's already pretty close, but so now I should be able to hear these together. And the reason I'm doing this is just to make the sound a lot wider. One more time. To this. The reason I'm bouncing this out now is just because it's going to save processing power as we go along, as I continue to add more stuff and I'm streaming. Okay, so I'm going to loop this a couple times, and now we can start to build our beat pad. Snaps and claps, yeah, that's all we're adding. So I'm going to go to my lo-fi collection. So now I can put my kick in there. I can tune it down if I want to. I'm filtering out anything below 40 because it's going to make my mix cleaner on the kick. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here in the this is just the Logic sampler. It allows me to link up to my MPK Mini, which I'm using kind of off screen. In the mapping function, it allows you to just put samples into a keyboard, and that's all I'm doing so that I can just play along and be a little bit more creative with how I'm laying out the beat. So now I can kind of play around a little bit more with what I'm doing here and just experiment. So I'm just going to do a low pass filter to about 35 to 40 just so that I'm, again, so this is just what we're filtering out. It's just kind of mud and not really helpful to our overall track at all. I'm going to clutter everything up. I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from. There we go. That's it. That's a little bit too harsh on the beater for a lo-fi track to me. I'm going to put the Fat Effects plugin back on. And like I said before, this is a default setting, so all that's on it right now is just a limiter. That's just to make sure that none of our tracks are clipping, like if I want to export stems or anything like that. So I was saying this before, but we'll do this kind of again. I want to cut this EQ as far up as possible to make sure that there's nothing clashing in the low end. And so this is what we're filtering out from the guitar. And it's really distracting, and when we add bass later, that's just going to be another area for the guitar to be clashing with the bass. So I can really try to push some of this up here. I really don't want any of that low end in there. That's where the bass is going to live, and this is really wubby and annoying. So I'm going to cut out all of that. What we can do is we'll do a low pass filter as well. This is kind of a little ring that I want to let go of. It's cool. It's a little haunting. That's giving it some of the haunting tones of the guitar, so I don't want to take that out entirely, but I want to tame that a little bit. And there's another stuff up here that I'm hearing that's kind of annoying. Right here. It's too much sheen, it's too much bite. And let's just listen to the before. So as you can tell, there's a ton of mud in there that was going to get really busy in on the track. Versus now we have a really focused in guitar. And what I'm doing here is I'm using the sidechain. So on the menu it gives you the option to compress the output, or you can sidechain compress from another track. And to do that, you hit the sidechain, and then over here there's a menu that says sidechain, and then I can choose from any of my audio tracks, and I'm going to choose the kick. And this is just going to give the guitar, it's basically going to make the guitar duck, and then whenever the kick comes in, it's also going to give me a little bit more space to turn up the guitar. Yep. What is this? Yeah, it's kind of that little thump. That's kind of harsh in the ear, so I want to take a little bit of that out. Okay, pull from this. Actually, it's a little too hot. You can still hear before I EQ it that it kind of sounds like a tom. So this is all we're taking out. There's that tom tone, but I get that nice clicky, ticky hi-hat tone. Now much more hi-hat like, and also turns it down since we EQ so much out. It's still a little bright to my ears. Where is that brightness coming from? There. Getting closer. Let's go ahead and add some bass. So yeah, right here in this attack, hold, decay, sustain, and release. Just extending the release a little bit. Just so that whenever a bass hit happens, it lingers for a while, since the song is such in a slow tempo. We're going to do the same thing with the sidechain, so using Platinum Digital again. And we're going to go ahead and sidechain our 808 to the kick. And we're going to put a super fast attack and a super fast release. And so the main reason for that is just for that one moment that the kick, because the kick is just a really high attack instrument, and the 808 has a longer release and it lingers. So the reason I'm putting that in there is so that when the kick and the 808 hit at the same time, they're not just right on top of each other. I'm giving the 808 room to duck out for the kick just for that one moment. It's been about an hour into stream, so we're making good progress. I wanted to start off a little distant feeling. And we'll give it a little bit of release here. For when it comes in. So then I'm going to reverse, which is Control-Shift-R. And then I'm going to use this as a way to lead into the song starting. No, actually it does make sense to be there. Okay. I'll make this loop twice. It looks like the color scheme looks a little cotton candy. I like it. Like that flower would smell like cotton candy. When you look into this flower, the track that I'm making starts as you look into it, and then you get sucked into that vortex world. It's actually a hallucinogenic flower.
Hallucinogenic flower would be a great band name.
Yeah, anybody out there in chat, there's your new band name, Hallucinogenic Flower. Oh, that's great right there. And I'll fade it in so it's not so abrupt. Yeah, that would be sick, but, you know, we need wind chimes in here. We need them in there now. And reverbed out. Reverb, I'll do a big plate. Okay. Just so I have some sustain on the keys as I start to go and play here. That'll be our nice little ascending key pattern. take off the sustain pedal here for a second. So that's my 2 keys, but I want to do a layer on the keyboards as well to give it just another level of depth. Oh, that's not gonna work. Oh yeah. Noticing the hi-hat's a little too ticky still. I'm gonna add a little shaker and bring it in as another loop. Images. We'll probably go for a little bit longer and then end stream here. That sounds nice. Very nice. Let's see what this does. Cool. All right, continue this in part 2 tomorrow. We're just going to keep rolling on this beat. We're going to change up the progressions. We're going to add a bunch of new stuff, add some melodies, maybe write some lyrics, and just kind of keep going on this song. But I think we got a good skeleton down, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your night.